I definitely think the acknowledgement is needed, especially when you consider the country's past. But Black history is American history. So hopefully we can get to a point where we don't have to designate, the shortest month in the year to Black history. So I definitely think it should be embedded in American history because that's what it is.
So as we've seen with certain things happening across the country, what's your thoughts on Governor DeSantis's banning of African American AP for Florida schools?
Yeah, I think it's unfortunate. There's a lot of things going on in Florida, but I think it's unfortunate, right? Again, Black history, African American history is part of this country's history, right? You can't remove it, right? No matter how painful it might be, that's an inevitable truth, right? That's an objective statement. So, whether it's Asian curriculum, whether it's European curriculum, whatever it might be, it should be allowed to be taught. The other thing is it's an AP course, right? So
Right.
it's not, part of the everyday curriculum, right? So this is going to be taught to select students, right, who
Mhm.
seek out this information or curriculum in their course. So, I'm obviously against it. Hopefully, the folks on the ground and those fighting that legal battle will prevail.
All right, let's segue into your transition from playing in the NFL, um, and then going into insurance and risk management. How do you make that jump?
Yeah, it's funny. So, I got hurt in 2010. That was officially my last year. I was able to get vested, which is another term for basically get my pension. So that was a blessing in itself. I was an undrafted rookie. So to be able to do that and have a Super Bowl ring, I was just trying to figure out my next move. I was 26 years old. I had to go back to undergrad at Eastern Michigan to finish up my last semester of undergrad. So I did that right away. And I just tried to figure out what was the next move. I met with a mentor, another former NFL guy, who was in insurance. And at the time, my knowledge of insurance was, State Farm and, Progressive. And he really sat down with me and we talked about corporate insurance. We talked about all the intangible skill sets that you had as a former athlete and how they easily transfer to this world. And that's what I did. We put together a 3-year plan. I went back to school to get my business degree at Columbia Business School. And then I was able to take a position at Aon, which is where I'm at now. I've been there a little bit over 5 years. It's a blessing to be where I'm at. But it was a bumpy road. I was trying to figure out what to do, and what I definitely knew I didn't want to do was go into coaching or become a trainer. No knock to my
Right.
NFL brothers who went down that road, but I definitely wanted to go a different lane. So that's what I decided to do.
Okay, just to kind of elaborate on that, why do you feel like you maybe weren't as interested in going in that traditional route, whether it's coaching, training, or even you see some NBA guys do the analyst work, right? So, what kind of made you want to go to a different route?
Yeah, great question. I mean, I just was so turned off by the business of professional sports, if that makes sense, right? And if you're blessed to play on Sundays or play any other sport professionally, right, whether it's soccer, baseball, NBA, that consumes you. That's your life, right? You have the season, you have the off season, you really don't have any time off. And so, having dedicated my life to this game of football for so long, having played 3.5 years in the NFL, obviously going through college, having significant injuries, obviously playing, in high school and before that, I just wanted to take a break. I just wanted
Right.
to hit pause. And before this whole, like, I'm more than an athlete, my mom, the high school I went to, other folks in my community instilled in me, like, look, this is just a part of what you do. It's not who you are. So I just want to get out of that.
No, that's an amazing point, bro. A lot of times you'll see athletes sometimes don't even know what their identity is outside of playing the sport. It's amazing you brought that point up. So, talk to me about some of your initiatives that you're involved in within your community, and if you have any plans on being involved with any initiatives on the continent in Africa.
One of the things I was proud of during my time at Columbia Business School in New York was helping build an entrepreneurship curriculum for soon to be released individuals who were incarcerated. We built that curriculum from scratch, me and a few other students, and that curriculum is currently being taught in New York State facilities. We believe it's helping reduce the recidivism rate, which is amazing, and helping these folks transition into society. We're in the process now, I can't talk about it too much, of trying to duplicate that in the Philadelphia area, as well as some other areas on the East Coast. So I'm very interested in that work. Some other things that I do, we host, me and a small group host weekly chats on Malcolm X and other Black history, simply because I'm a lifelong learner. I'm a reader. I'm a rare book collector. And I truly believe that the answers to many of our hard problems as it relates to our communities have already been given to us, right? So it's just up to us to uncover them and discuss them in detail. So we do that on a weekly basis. And then I support some of those organizations, right? So those are some of the things I'm doing. I'm also reviving what we call a perspective platform, which allows young people to essentially control their narrative and weigh in on many of the issues that are impacting them on a daily basis.
What was the initiatives that you were working on, or if you have any initiative ideas that you want to do in the future on the continent, if that's something that you're interested in?
Professionally, in what I do every day in the insurance world and the ability to transfer risk, I think there's some opportunities there to help them out. Not only is it, us picking up a new account, but we're essentially helping them do some really big things, right? Transfer risk, which directly impacts, has a positive impact on the citizens of some of those nations. So I'm looking forward to doing that, but also the ability to go on the continent and connect with brothers and sisters in regards to unity throughout the diaspora, I think is powerful. I've been to South Africa. I've never been to West Africa. I think I'll get to West Africa this year. We'll see. But again, those opportunities to connect with brothers and sisters. And I had that opportunity a few months ago when many African leaders were in town in Washington, D.C. I met with several leaders on the continent. So the opportunity to just build from there is truly a blessing and something I look forward to.